working overtime. I never want my work to take over my life.
I'm not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right ones.
If you're looking at 20 different things and you really only need to see the one thing, it's how can we get that one thing in front of you so you can just focus on that. You don't always have to overhaul everything. You're not expected to be good. You're going to make mistakes.
Hey there, business enthusiasts. Welcome to the Chills Podcast, brought to you by All Weather Roof. Because just like a sturdy roof, our conversations are built to last. I'm your host, Brent Loberg, and we're about to dive into the world of business, family, and the moments that give us those exhilarating chills. Ever wonder what keeps successful people inspired? Well, get ready to find out as we chat with some fantastic all-weather customers, partners, vendors, and friends. We'll explore their triumphs, challenges, and maybe even some unexpected secrets. After all, business is not just about numbers. It's about the people behind them. So grab your metaphorical popcorn and join us on this journey. Get ready to be inspired, maybe even get a few chills of your own. This is the Chills Podcast. Let the goosebumps begin. Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Sarah Becker, tell us a little bit about your business.
So I am the owner of Clear Simple Business, and I do process improvement consulting with organizations. So it's really, if you think of what are the things you do on a day-to-day or monthly basis that don't work, or you really don't like doing them, and maybe you don't think there's a better way of doing them, my business comes in and shows you that, in fact, there is a better way of doing it and reducing the time and the errors and working with the systems that you have within your organization. So it's not about bringing in a shiny new software, but it's about looking at what you already have and how can we do the process better with what you already have.
Okay. And how did you think to create this business?
So I came out of Target. I worked at Target Corporation for about 6 years. I always felt like I should own my own business, but never quite knew what in. So there came a kind of a turning point at Target where they're letting people go. And so I started to think of my plan B outside of the corporate world. And so I looked back at my career at Target, and I worked in marketing, finance, and IT, so three very different pyramids. And I realized that I was successful in each of those, not because I was a marketing subject matter expert or a finance person. I didn't know what a cost center or profit center was when I first got that position.
Yep.
But I was able to be successful in that role because I would look at my tasks and what I needed to do, and I would just naturally improve them. And I thought everyone did that because it was just something that kind of came easily to me. And then when I looked back, I realized that the reason I was able to make such drastic changes in each of my roles, like there were some spaces where it would take 3 days to do a task, and then I got it down to about 2 hours.
Okay.
And so almost every single role, it's like I'd get hired for 40 hours, and using the tools available to me and making changes and automating and having conversations with other teams, I would be able to get my tasks down to about 20 hours or less. And again, I thought everyone did that. And then it was kind of that turning point of like, okay, I might get let go. Let's look back at, what I did exceptionally well here at Target. Like Target gets a lot of the top talent in the area. So I was like, what did I do exceptionally well that no one else did? And I realized it was this process improvement piece and automating and creating efficiencies. And I looked back at my teammates and I realized there are only 2 or 3 people that I ran into that would naturally do this. And so I figured with smaller organizations, there's a good chance that they don't have anyone in there doing this type of work. Okay. And so that means that the processes they're probably doing are painful and could be done in a better way. Okay. And so I ended up jumping ship from Target and opening my own business around that premise of making life easier and more automated and efficient within kind of that smaller business space.
Okay. The 4-hour work week. I've heard of that book, but you're always like, is that really a thing?
Oh, yeah. You can make it a thing for sure. Like I said, every single role I had as an employee at Target or at various organizations, it would start out as 40 hours, and then I'd be able to update it and get it done in 20 hours or less. Okay. And sometimes even in that 20 hours, I'd be getting more done than the person who came in before me. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities to do things differently and just make things like more clear and easy to follow and automated.
You're making people super efficient.
Yep.
Sure. Do you have other employees or is it just you?
Right now it's just me.
Okay.
And I'll pull in different consultants. Sometimes we partner in different areas, and then sometimes some virtual assistants to do kind of background stuff. But for the most part, it's currently just me.
Okay. Are you using anything like AI, anything new, anything up and coming in your business?
I haven't jumped into the AI space yet. So actually a lot of what I use is kind of Office 365 tools, because my main goal is to use what's available to you And so a lot of that's Office 365, whether it's Excel, OneNote, SharePoint, or a lot of organizations have their like industry specific software that a lot of times you can customize to a certain extent. So a lot of it is removing digital clutter. Like if you have too much in front of you, then you get exhausted.
Oh, for sure.
If you're looking at 20 different things and you really only need to see the one thing, it's how can we get that one thing in front of you so you can just focus on that.
Sure. Yeah, I remember at one time I had iPad, iPhone, and then my MacBook, and I'd get an email and ding, 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 and you can
Right.
see how getting rid of some of that stuff even.
Yeah, just creating less clutter and less noise. And then
Okay.
you can really focus, and then you can get things done in less time. And so that's always been a huge passion of
Sure.
mine, even before I started my business. Like, there was something about me where I got my first job, like corporate business job, and it was like, I never want to work overtime. Like, I never want my work to take over my life. Like, I enjoy playing sports in the evening. So it's like, I don't want to have to call my team and say, no, I can't come and play because I have to do this work. So I always looked at my tasks and was like, okay, what I have here takes me 40 hours, but what if a fire comes up, or what if someone gets sick and I have to do their work on top of mine?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can I do now to reduce the amount of time and make my work easier so that I never have to work overtime? There was just something like deeply ingrained in my head.
Sure.
Like, I'm not working overtime.
All right. Is that how you came up with the Process Ninja? Is that your personal brand?
Yep. So it's kind of fun. It's like you attack the projects and do kind of a quick swoop, and then life is easier after that.
Sure. So the name of the podcast is The Chills. The chills in a good way. What in your business life gives you those chills, makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck or your arm?
So it is those opportunities when you're talking with people and they're like, there's no better way of doing it. Mm-hmm. So I worked with a car dealership, the owner, and he kept telling me, okay, here are these little things that, can we sum here or do this? And it's like those things were just tiny little things. It was like, yeah, I can do that right now. And then we kind of got through, a half hour, 45 minutes of our meeting. It's like, well, what do you really hate doing? And he's like, well, there's this monthly report that I just absolutely hate, but there's no way to do it differently. And it would take 6 months to figure out, so it's not even worth even trying.
Okay.
And so that's when I'm like, yeah, game on. Like, bring that over here. Let's grab this challenge, and just that there's always a better way. And within 6 days of working on this project, we had that better way of doing it. So a lot of times business owners feel like, it's been a big problem or big thorn in their side for so long, so it has to be this, giant 6 month, year-long process to make it better. But a lot of times you can do it pretty quickly. So I love that challenge of like, no, there's no better way. This is how it is. We can't make it better. I love, going in at that challenge. Like, that just gets me excited.
Okay. Taking on the challenge, tackling the challenge, just like you do on the hockey rink.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How about Chill's home life?
So I was thinking about this question, and it brought up like laughter.
Okay.
And I remember, I think it was 6 months or a year ago, seeing a quote. It essentially said, like, our job as parents is to teach our kids how to be responsible and kind of the rules and all that. But we can't forget that we need to also teach them how to enjoy life. Seeing that, it kind of made me pause. It's like, okay, I have high expectations for myself and my kids, but am I teaching them how to enjoy life? And then since then, I've been focusing more on like, okay, we can relax a bit.
Sure.
And those moments when, the whole family's together and we're just truly relaxed and it's like real laughter, like that just gives me the chills and the goosebumps and just makes me so happy.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the parenting and all that stuff's going to come anyways, but if you're kind of focused on just that, then maybe the laughter and the fun stuff doesn't come as easily.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your hockey background?
Well, I grew up on a lake in Maple Grove, and so I always skated. We were always out there ice skating all winter when there was ice. Not this winter. There's not any ice, but but most winters, we would be out there with the neighborhood kids, and we'd be skating. And girls hockey wasn't really a thing when I was growing up, and it just wasn't an option younger. And then when I was about 12 was when women's hockey was in the Olympics, and so it became more visible and it became more of a thing to play. And so I started playing organized hockey when I was 12. on a girls' team.
Okay.
And I kind of had an advantage because I actually knew how to skate already. The struggle with hockey is other sports, like, well, you already know how to run.
Yep.
And so you can just go out and learn the game, whereas hockey, you have to learn how to run first, how to skate, and then kind of learn the game. So I kind of had an advantage over the other girls who had never skated before.
Okay.
So started when I was 12, then went on to play in high school at Maple Grove, and then went on to St. Ben's and played in college there.
Okay. Awesome.
And that was, like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
College.
Yeah. And you were forward?
Yep, I was forward.
Okay.
Yep. So I would say I'm a little too short to be a defender.
Yep.
And speed was really my strength.
Okay.
So I did that. And then now I play in a women's league
Okay.
in Minnesota. So still keeping it up. Call it kind of the old ladies league, where sometimes it's a struggle because you think back to how you played when you were in college and when you were in shape, and then you're not in shape anymore.
I
But
hear
it's
ya.
still a lot of fun. It's a good workout.
Use it or lose
It's a
it.
good workout. Yep.
You got to keep at it.
Yep, and our team's still competitive, so it's nice. We're actually next week going into the league puts on a state tournament for each of the levels. So the top
wow.
4 teams, each of the divisions goes and plays. So we were number 3.
Okay.
So we're starting the state tournament next week. So
I
that's
like
exciting.
it. Still competitive.
Yeah, there's some tough teams in there. So
Yep. Awesome. So you got how many kids in hockey right now?
I have 2 kids in hockey.
Okay.
So 11-year-old and a 9-year-old who are playing hockey. So second year squirt and last year mite for hockey people who know those terms. And then I also have a 7-month-old baby. So had a little baby girl in July.
Awesome.
So,
Congrats.
Yeah.
Super
it's-
fun. You're in the middle of it all now.
Yeah. It's a very fun, like that 6-7 month age is a ton of fun because they start, interacting more. So now the older kids were super excited when she came along. Didn't realize that as a newborn, they can't really do that much with her.
Sure.
So now these last few months, they can interact with her more, and they, enjoy getting her to giggle or to scream or spit out her food or,
Sure.
all the fun stuff that the kids get to do. And
Yep.
then the parents have to be like, maybe not the peas all over the kitchen table.
Exactly.
I know it's fun, but let's do like the bananas or the applesauce that's not quite as bright and green.
Sure. I miss those stages, but you do appreciate the new stages as well.
Yeah, and it's just so different because it's like the older 2 are about just under 2 years apart. So it's just a different time having the 2 little ones and then having them so much older and then having the younger one. It's fun to see like the newborn process through their eyes.
Sure. Yeah. Super fun. Do you take anything from your hockey life into your business life? Anything that you've learned or?
There's so much. I do process improvement work, but ultimately I do a lot of people work with organizations as well, because as I'm sitting with people and reviewing their processes, they're telling me a lot of things about what they like and don't like about the specific process, but then it also end up being a sounding board with kind of the people side and how people are being treated. And so I've kind of gotten a bit more into that culture space and how people interact, because I feel like sometimes it can be, we're talking the talk with, we want to be the best place to work for our employees, but then our actions and the walking the walk can sometimes contradict that. And a lot of that can be our own beliefs on what it means to be a leader and what that means on how we treat our employees. But then just coaching this year with my daughter's team, I kind of had an aha moment where I saw, you're always trying to create those team dynamics and this really great culture that can lead to success and wins, but also, more importantly, in youth sports is the opportunity to become better and to learn and to learn so many valuable tools like working together and own individual skills and valuing diversity. Like you can't have all fast forwards on your team. Like you need a good goalie, you need defenders, so valuing those different roles. And it was quite this aha moment of so much of what so many business leaders strive for in their business cultures really has a strong connection to that sports team. And I think so many people can think back to their youth sports experience or maybe high school or college or whatever they played and think back to that one team that was just really, really good. Not just skill-wise, like we're winning, but it was a great place to be, and it was supportive. And so I've started doing kind of a blog series with exploring, what things do we do in sports that create this great team dynamic, and how can we kind of lift and land that into the business space. And I've just found so many different correlations between, how we would treat a sports team and create a valuable sports team, and then how we can do that within our business. So
Okay.
you can check out my blog,
All right.
clearsimplebusiness.com, and I got 2 out there now. Every time I write one topic, I think of 5 more. Or when I experience, my daughter's team, and they kind of present me with something, whether a challenge or just oh, that worked. Like, yay.
Yep.
Like, there's just so many things you can relate back to kind of that business culture.
Sure. Yeah, what you were talking about reminded me of the quote in The Miracle with her Brooks, where they're picking the guys for the team, and the guys said, "You're missing some of the best players here." And he goes, "I'm not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right ones." So
Right.
that kind of reminded me of what you were talking about with the team and whole team dynamic. And
Yeah.
So-
Like, there's so many different roles for people to play within a sports team, and then even within a business, and, making sure you have the right people in the right seats, and that you're supporting them in the right ways
Yep.
and letting them practice. Like, I think that's something that we lose in business, is that reminder of, we all still need to practice. Like, if we want our team members to get better, then we have to give them that opportunity to practice. And with that, you're going to make mistakes. You're not expected to be good. When you're coaching kids, you don't expect them to be good at something the first time they do it. But us as adults, a lot of times we expect ourselves, the first time I do it, I'm going to be an expert at it.
Yep.
And then when we're not an expert, then we just shut down. And we're like, well, I guess I can't do that. But being able to create that space of kind of safety and practice is when, your organization can really soar, because you're constantly learning and developing and getting better.
Yeah, I like it. Any tidbit of advice you can share with the audience to help them in their business?
There's always a better way.
More efficient?
Yep. There's so many times where companies will tell me what their most painful task is or their process. And a lot of times I get, well, it is what it is. There's nothing that we can do to make it better. And that's not true. There's always ways to be constantly improving. So looking for those opportunities to be constantly changing. Even tiny little small tweaks can have a huge impact. So, you don't always have to overhaul everything, but just be looking for those tiny little tweaks that can have a huge, huge impact.
Bonus question for you.
Uh-oh.
Favorite hockey movie?
Well, Miracle is really the top
Yeah.
movie. I do Mighty Ducks. I was at the age where I was kind of the same age as the actors as they're going. So that's a great movie. Although if you actually look at it through a hockey lens, it's not the best hockey skills.
So your critique in the
when you critique where it's
skills
Emilio Estevez is holding the stick wrong, the butt end of the stick is way up, and you could tell he can barely stand on the ice, and they take their helmets off on the bench all the time. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, you're in the Olympics and you have a kid who can't stop. Come on, that's not real life hockey, but it's
Sure.
entertaining.
So, sure.
Yeah.
Super fun. I would agree. Miracle was a really good one.
Yeah, I love watching, if you've watched the behind the scenes stuff, because almost all the actors were actual hockey players, and I've watched the behind the scenes, and they talk about how it felt more like a hockey tryout than it did acting
Sure.
for a movie tryout, because they actually put them through hockey drills and stuff. So they really had a focus on hockey and making sure that was accurate.
Sure. Kurt Russell did an amazing job.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
He? I mean,
Yes.
he was all in. I mean, you do look at some of the actual footage of the Olympics and Herb Brooks, and even some of the players actually even kind of look alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a great job depicting that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Email, so it's Sarah with an H at clearsimplebusiness.com.
Okay.
Otherwise, website. You can find me on LinkedIn.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks
It's good
for
to
having
meet you.
me. You too.
Yeah. And that's a wrap, folks. A huge thank you to our incredible guests and, of course, All Weather Roof for making this podcast possible. If you enjoyed these conversations as much as we did, don't forget to hit subscribe and share the chills with your fellow business aficionados. Remember, it's not just about business, it's personal, and it's all about the people. Stay inspired, chase those dreams, and let the chills guide you. Till next time, this is Brent, signing off from the Chills Podcast. Catch you on the flip side.